Okay, I may have spoken a little too early when I talked about Jess Franco's other cannibal movie being by far the worst cannibal film in all of these cannibal movies thus far. We got another one from him, and why? Yes, why would you watch a terrible movie by a director known for making low budget, terrible movies for the most part? Finding out he has another cannibal movie shot exactly at the same time that the last one was, and say, I'm gonna watch the other one next. And I'll tell you why, briefly, because this was fucking awful. Just like the last one, I think this was a little bit better, but better is a word you can't even really put in the right context for how awful these movies are. It's so barely better that you can't even really say why. But this is my logic. I know for completist reasons, and because I'm covering all these Italian cannibal movies, even though these two aren't Italian, doesn't matter. I'm already in the dirt here. I'm in the worst of the worst. I might as well stop by the other one while I'm down here. No one wants to come to an absolute shithole, check out one restaurant, leave, go to a completely different part of the world, have some great experiences or some much better ones, and then go back to the hellhole and suffer through all of that again. Why not just do it again while you're here in the shithole to begin with? And that is why I watched Jess Franco's Mondo Cannibale, or The Cannibals, or simply Cannibals, White Cannibal Queen, Barbarian Goddess, Woman for the Cannibals. This might be an award winner right here. This may have the most alternate titles for a movie I've talked about, at least in a very long while. And no matter what you call it, it's dreadful. Same as the last movie. Both of these, like I said, shot back to back. Jesús Franco, you don't expect much from him. Sleaze, low budget, a lot of the same camera work. He uses so much slow motion in this movie. A lot of the scenes with the cannibals, which again, they're not cannibals. They don't even look like tribes people. Just like the other one, they look like they were pulled off the street. Some of them got well done hair, sideburns. They got sandals and watches on and shit. All right, maybe not watches, but I think I saw one of them with jewelry he shouldn't have, like a gold ring. None of them look like cannibals. It doesn't look like the jungle. It looks like they're in a park with palm trees all around, and it's just dreadful. What is this movie about, you may be asking? I'm happy to enlighten you. It's about Al Cliver's character, who ends up going into the jungle with his wife and his young daughter. His wife ends up getting eaten alive by cannibals, and this is what I'm talking about with the slow motion. Close-ups of the dumb-looking tribes members slash cannibals, and it really does feel like a solid 2 minutes of slow motion of them just eating whatever they're eating. It all looks terrible. The special effects, just like the other one, same level of quality, mostly atrocious, but they're just eating body parts up close for what feels like a goddamn eternity. It doesn't stop. And then you end up going years into the future. Al Cliver's character left his daughter there, who got kidnapped by the cannibal tribe, and then he ends up going back after he's missing an arm, which is hilarious. Many, many moments in this movie, you see him with his hand behind his back. He's wearing a white shirt that gets wet, like at the climax of the movie, and you just see his full arm folded up like this. That's how bad this movie is. But he ends up going back, minus an arm, to try to rescue his daughter, who is now worshipped as a white goddess, basically, by the tribe. And she is acclimated with the tribe. Those are her people. She doesn't really remember. She does a little, but it doesn't matter. The story is awful. The acting is atrocious. Everything I could say about the last movie applies to this movie, and vice versa. The only positive I can give this movie, and maybe that's why I didn't feel like I was suffering through it as much as, what the hell is the other one? Devil Hunter, or whatever those alternate titles are. I'm not in the mood right now. This was supposed to be quick, but the music in this movie, while not great, and it just sounds like your generic tribal music with little chants, oh, like that. But I gotta say, it is a little catchy. And I found myself kind of chanting along once in a blue moon during the runtime of this movie, which is about 10 minutes less than the other movie. And that is the only other positive. So yeah, there's nothing to say about this. I'm all over the place with it. It is just as terrible as Devil Hunter. I know there's another movie called Cannibal Terror that used to get attributed to Jesús Franco all the time, but he didn't direct it. He co-wrote it, and it was some type of French cannibal movie. And you know, I gotta throw that one on before I leave the shithole and climb up to some of the other movies that we have waiting to end this entire Italian cannibal subgenre. So if you've seen or been unlucky to see Mondo Cannibale or The Cannibals, White Cannibal Queen, whatever name you want to call it, by Jesús Franco from 1980, let me know your thoughts, because this sucked.